And yes, we're about to launch, unintended, what I would say is the boldest and most technologically advanced phase of our investigation yet, to get you and the world answers at major activity hotspots on the ranch, like the Triangle, Homestead 2, and especially deep inside the Mesa.
I can't believe what we've already discovered. I purchased the 512-acre property as a true skeptic, believing that there must be a logical and mundane explanation for all of the reported high strangeness on the ranch. But I quickly turned from a skeptic to an experiencer. Whatever is here is real, and just maybe otherworldly.
I mean, just look at all that we've encountered so far. Everything from repeated equipment malfunctions, mysterious energies, and possible communication signals. Strange animal deaths, and yes, UAP sightings. All of these phenomena have turned our understanding of the world that we live in completely on edge. But stay tuned, San Diego, as Travis, Jay, and Joe will explain further. The truth is out there, and we're back to find it.
Have fun at Comic-Con, everyone, and remember, keep an eye out for what may be lurking above and below. Take care.
Okay. All right. So for the benefit of those joining us already in progress, Travis, can you kind of just, as to the extent that such a thing is possible, sum up what exactly y'all are trying to do there and have been for years?
Oh, wow. So, Skinwalker Ranch is this 512-acre property in the middle of the Uinta Basin in Utah. So it's about a 3-hour drive due east of Salt Lake City, to give you some reference as to where it is in the world. And if you look on the map, look at a global map of the United States there, and you'll see it looks like there's a big gouge in the Midwest out there, and Skinwalker Ranch is right in the middle, the bottom of this big bowl that was made out of something that struck the earth a million years ago or more. And why is it that in that location, it seems to be for centuries, and now we know for maybe even thousands of years, due to petroglyphs we've found, that people have been seeing weird, crazy things in that location and have been recording it and telling stories about it and handing them down from generation to generation. And it became a topic of serious scientific investigation back in the late 90s with the aerospace entrepreneur Bob Bigelow and the federal government, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But for some reason, this is the nexus, sort of, why? Why the middle of Utah? There's this one spot. There's some of the strangest, craziest things seem to be happening. And we know that it's not just old school stories, campfire spooky stories, because we've seen and measured real scientific data that this is a real thing going on there. And it's something that's gonna, if we ever figure it out, and even if we don't, it's changed how we can look at the universe, because we realize it's much bigger and weirder than we ever thought it was.
Jay, I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about the evolution in public attitudes towards this sort of phenomena. Like when I was a kid coming up in the 70s and 80s, if you talked about this stuff, you were cuckoo. But it seems like there's a bit more openness, and I wondered if you could talk to us about just why that is and also the role that you may have played in it.
Sure. So through the 50s, 60s, and the 80s, right, the Cold War, we used, and I say we, not Jay Stratton on stage here, but you know, the U.S. government definitely used the UFO topic to help kind of feed that stigma that we have now, because we're protecting things like the SR-71, the F-117, and all kinds of other Cold War platforms that we were building and developing. And the stigma really helped the counterintelligence concerns and things surrounding that. Through the 80s, as we started transitioning into the 90s, and then you know, the Cold War, the wall fell. Attitudes changed, things changed, and